Well, welcome to Celebrate Aging. I'm Vicki, a chaplain at Emmanuel Community, and we are celebrating. What are we celebrating? Oh, we're celebrating everything. Well, in the month of February.
That's a good month to celebrate.
It is a good month to celebrate, and we're listening to stories about how people met and fell in love, and how does that all work, because Valentine's Day is in February. So we have with us today Lorraine Tallman. I got your name right.
I'm not Lillian right
I know.
now.
I've called this poor lady Lillian I don't know how many times. I have trouble with names. Lillian and Lorraine I get mixed up all the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, because you said you're going to give me demerits if I can't get it right. So this is Lorraine Tallman, and she has said, you know what, I'd like to tell you about how I met Rusty, and that's not his real name though, is it?
Do you want to know his real name?
I'd love to know his real name.
Cleo.
Cleo?
His mother wanted to name him Elmo, and I guess the rest of the kids in the family just said, oh no.
So they outvoted her, huh?
Yeah.
And they ended up Cleo?
With Cleo.
Huh.
Hey, there's one worse, Cletus.
Cletus?
There's a Cletus too.
His brother or?
No, it would be his nephew.
His nephew?
But Grandma and Grandpa raised him.
So did he have red hair?
Brilliant red hair. Curly, very, very pretty dark red curly hair.
Nice.
And I have one daughter that takes after him.
So Rusty comes from the color of his hair?
Yep, his mother caught him soaking his head in kerosene once. Somebody told him that it would take the curl off. It didn't. Or she caught him in time. I don't know which is which.
Oh, I tell you, that's a story and a half right there.
Can you imagine soaking your head in kerosene?
No.
Good thing you didn't smoke.
I guess so. Of course, he went into the fire business, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He's a fireman? Or what was his official title?
Arson investigator for the state of Minnesota.
For the state of Minnesota. Wow. So Rusty Tallman was your husband.
Yeah.
But now I want you to tell how, because I know you were born in Minnesota, right?
Yes.
And he was from
Wisconsin.
But you met in
Oregon.
Now that's a story. How does a Minnesota girl and a Wisconsin boy meet in Oregon? You'll have to tell me.
Well, I had a friend who was driving out to Oregon, to Camp-Adair, Oregon, which is in Corvallis.
Okay.
Anyway, the town of Corvallis. She was going out to see her husband, and she wanted me to go with her, to ride with for company.
Okay.
So I did. And I took a 2-week vacation from work and thought I'd turn around and come. I stayed there for 3 years.
Oh. That's a long vacation.
Yeah. But I lived in a private home, had a sleeping room in a private home.
Okay.
And they were lovely people. They just took me in as another kid.
Oh.
And
how old were you?
20.
You were 20 years old and drove all the way out to Oregon with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long trip.
It was a long trip. But one of the daughters went to the brother owned a restaurant bar.
Okay.
And she went to cover one shift one night, and it was the last shift.
Okay.
So I said, well, I'll walk down and meet you.
Sure.
Walk you home.
Absolutely.
So when we got there was a sailor, and there was Rusty.
Well, what was he doing out there?
Drinking beer. Of course.
Of course.
So they walked us home, and partway, you want me to tell that, don't you?
I do want you to tell it.
Partway home, my toe went out of joint.
Your toe went out of joint.
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
So I sat down on the sidewalk and kicked off my shoe and proceeded to put my toe back in place. But he did call me the next day.
He was probably so curious. What is up about that young woman?
He did call. And we lived together for 60 and a half years.
Wow. Did you get married out in Oregon?
No, we came home to get married.
Okay. So was he in the service?
Yes, he's a Marine.
He was a Marine.
I have 2 sons-in-law are Marines too.
Wow.
So
that's how you met.
Yep.
In the middle of the night, you were going to be the good friend and walk your friend home, so she was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And you met these 2 sailors who were having a good night.
Sailor and a Marine.
A sailor, oh yeah. Heaven
Goodness
forbid.
sakes.
That was a slip. So we have the sailor and the Marine, and they walk you home, and then your crazy toe goes out of joint.
Yep.
Yep. I bet he told that story many times too, didn't he?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's really rather unbelievable, but it happened.
But it happened. So then you came home to get married. Well, so you stayed out there for 3 years. What did you do? Did you work?
I worked at Camp Adair for the Army Engineers.
Oh.
I had a cushy job. The thing is, it's a War Department rating, not civil service.
Okay.
And it was easy for a woman to climb to the next level because so many of them, when their husbands were transferred out, they'd go too, so that'd make a void.
An opening, sure. There were many openings.
So I got to the top, but I couldn't go any further because that was just for men only.
Oh my. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, now that you and Rusty were getting to be an item, how did he propose?
Well, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, the first time was over the telephone.
The telephone? Nobody proposes over the telephone. Did you say yes?
I think he was scared.
Nothing scares a Marine. Except
That's what they say.
Yes, yes.
It takes a woman to get him down.
So, because he's pretty tall, isn't he?
6'2".
6'2".
Mm-hmm.
You're not very tall. I mean, you're sitting, so how tall are you?
I was 5'2".
You were 5'2".
Now I'm only 5.
Now, oh.
My son says I qualify as a leprechaun.
I love that. Okay, so 6'2" Marine calls you on the telephone to propose, but you didn't say yes.
No.
No. So then
I can't remember what I said to him, but it wasn't yes.
And then what?
Let's see. I think he said he was coming into town.
Okay.
The next night.
Okay.
Yes, he did. And I said, I'm going to a dance. He said, I don't dance. I said, tough, I'm going to a dance. He took me.
I love this lady. She's got attitude.
He sat there and he watched every move everybody made. It was funny.
Oh.
We've had a lot of laughs.
I love it. Now, you said that this is your original
Yes.
engagement ring, and it's a pretty stone. It's not a diamond, but it's a pretty stone. And then on your first anniversary or first Christmas, then you got a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart.
And I have to tell you, that's blue. He went for his discharge in La Jolla.
Yes.
Right, a month after we were married. And when I came home from work one night, I could smell chicken frying. And he was standing at the stove frying chicken in blue trousers, blue shirt, blue tweed sports coat, and would you believe even his pajamas were blue?
And you got a blue stone ring.
And I got a blue stone ring.
Well, we love to hear these stories, and if you're interested in telling your story or sharing your story or hearing other stories, you come on over to Emmanuel. We've got a lot of them. So thank you for joining me, Lorraine.
Oh, You're welcome.
We're wishing everyone a happy Valentine's Day.